Now, we asked you at home, are you happy with your bin collections? Nearly 40% of you in our poll said no, and you're not alone, because the Conservatives in Swindon claim that over 1 million bins have been missed from collection in the town since May. That's enough to reach Paris if they were lined up.
That's right. The tally is disputed by members of the Labour Council, who say it is double and triple counting. They've also given us this response. It appears that a select few Swindon Conservatives want to focus on effects, but are unsurprisingly reticent to discuss the cause of the issues that happened under their watch. By not adequately resourcing the project stage in 2022, they go on, it resulted in incorrect critical data, flawed mechanical assumptions and a lack of adequate back-office system supplies. The problems that we are left with to resolve are systemic and deep-rooted, and we will continue to work hard to rebuild the service. Oh, I love a bit of civil service speak, don't you?
Let's get the Tory MP for North Swindon, Justin Tomlinson, on. Justin, morning to you. I was in Swindon fairly recently. Everyone was talking about the fact their bins aren't being collected on time.
Yeah, and we did. We passed 1 million missed collections since Labour took control of the council on Valentine's Day. And not exactly a landmark people were hoping for. It's running at around 43% of collections are missed. We keep getting told either there's no problem or it's about to get better. I can assure you that is not the case.
So let me tell you what one of our viewers who lives in Swindon says, Justin, Karina. She said it used to be that the service was wonderful. They're trying to do more recycling. The bins have not been collected since before Christmas. Apparently the new refuse trucks are too small and they're catching up now. Do you have any idea whether such a complete mess up has occurred?
Yeah, I mean, you know, our councillors have offered to help. We believe the communication was poor in the beginning. They left the launch too late, so they left it till the bad weather, and obviously that compounded problems in the early days. That they didn't pilot anything, so overnight we went from the old system to the new system. And if they had actually done some pilots, they would have realised they needed to change some of the routes, change the capacity, increase the mop-up crews. They have no project manager, so it's really difficult to get anybody to take accountability. So councillors are just simply having to repeatedly report missed collections. Sometimes some are collected on time, others you can wait a week, 10 days, but on average it is currently running at 43% missed collections since Labour took control of the council. That is not acceptable in any way.
We just want to explain, Justin, to those people who are listening on the radio, there were some extraordinary scenes there of literally piles of rotting rubbish being collected. I mean, how long? I mean, how bad is it? I mean, how big are these piles of rubbish?
Well, we first had problems in the summer. Before they changed over the system. They'd changed the sort of working arrangements with the staff. We then had probably about a 6-week period where things settled down. Then they did the big bang of the launch of the new system. But in some areas, you know, it's not days, it's weeks that waste and recycling has been missed. When you then have periods of bad weather and that waste then gets spread around, it just compounds it, which is causing concern around rats and health issues. Look, you know, the staff on the front line are working their best. You know, they're working long hours. They're doing their best. It is not their fault. But not having a project manager, poor communications, denial, lack of responsibility, and that failure to pilot the scheme, to just test it out. If they'd picked a couple of routes, checked, realised things were not quite as they had hoped, they could have made adjustments before, not afterwards, because at the moment all they're doing is just chasing their tail and seemingly not making progress. There's
clearly an accountability deficit, which should be the phrase of 2024 so far, frankly. But Labour are accusing you, Justin, of manipulating the figures for political gain, and they're just trying their hardest.
Well, it's not me. I mean, it's my Conservative councillor colleagues who did the Freedom of Information request that their council provided the data that shows since the day they took control of the council, by February the 14th, 1 million collections were missed, which is running at 43%. Now, looking at our record on the council, we ran at around 12% missed collections. Not perfect, but that's probably fairly typical across most local authorities in the country. And even then, generally, you would only wait a day because there were mop-up crews that would then catch up with what was often the end of the previous day's collections. It's their own figures, but this just sums up that they wanted to run the council, but they don't want the responsibility when things go wrong. They could fix this easily.
Is this going to cause problems with mice and rats, Justin?
Yeah, it has. And we see this. I mean, if you were to go on to any of the community groups on Facebook, it's just a running commentary of collective horror stories, particularly compounded if there is a period of bad weather. And that was another one of the challenges that our councillors have put forward, is they delayed the launch to the point of the worst weather of the year. What they should have done is look to do this in better weather. And as I said, if they'd piloted some of the rounds first, they'd have realised they needed to adjust the rounds, the capacity, the hours that the staff are working, and we wouldn't have got ourselves into this mess. But it is frustrating that this isn't a few weeks. This has just been going on, and we keep being told it's all going to be fine now. But us Swindon residents, we're not seeing that improvement.
All right, Justin. That's Justin Tomlinson, the MP for North Swindon. That's my hometown.
Is it really?
It is, and that I've never seen overflowing bins like that.
You can't just do the basics. Honestly, what are we paying our council tax for?